Once you learn the Cortices technique and you've done it quite a few times, this will become second nature to you, like anything else does that you practice really well. And it requires those good neural pathways to be laid down. So I want you to remember, you can do this once a day or you can do it many, many times a day. You can't hurt yourself with this technique. You can't put yourself into overwhelm. You can't create a healing crisis with Cortices. It just enables the body-mind complex to be able to function better, the brain to function better, and the nervous system to function better. Your first hand position actually goes at the base of the brain where the skull meets the neck. So you're going to place a hand there and your fingers are going to be closed together like that. As you're doing that, you take nice big deep breaths in and out, tapping over the top of the head brain and the heart brain and the gut brain in any order that you feel like is best for you. And you want to do that for at least 2 full big deep breath cycles. If you innately feel, for whatever reason, that you need to hang at one particular hand position for a moment or two longer and do another round of tapping and breathing, go ahead and do that. You're going to move your hand up to the second hand position, so you can place a finger at the top of that hand and move it up just 1 hand width, that's all. And do the same again, tapping over head brain, heart brain, and gut brain. We're focusing on communication improving between both hemispheres of the brain, and we're taking nice big deep breaths. Place your finger there as a marker, move your hand up to the next hand position, go ahead and tap it in. The more proficient you get at this, you won't need to place your finger there as a marker. You'll just be able to naturally follow your hand from back to front, which is what we're doing. We're moving from the back part of the brain to the front part. So we've covered the occiput, we've covered the parietal sections now, and now we're getting towards the frontal part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. When you get to the top of the brain like this, you can see my hand there. You've got a few different options. You can tap straight over the top of the hand because the field of the brain comes way out. So it doesn't matter whether you're tapping directly on like this or directly onto the hand. If you have a headache or you're doing Cortices on somebody that has a headache, tapping directly onto the head is going to be painful, in which case I would recommend tapping within the brain's field. It works just the same, if not more effectively sometimes. Go all the way around to the front of the brain where the prefrontal cortex is, and again tap this in. You're going to finish off with the temporal lobes. So hands run from front to back, nice soft hands, fingers always closed together. From this position, you're going to hold and imprint. This is called imprinting. Take a couple of nice big deep breaths in and out. And at this stage, you have a choice. You can either take one hand away and tap in over all 3 brains, head brain, heart brain, gut brain, or you take both hands away. And I always imagine that I'm sliding my hand out of a pair of gloves. And then I go ahead and tap it in over head brain, heart brain, and gut brain. So a lot of people, through doing that technique, will notice a few things. Their sleeping can improve, their breathing cycle and their respiration can dramatically improve. An overall feeling of calm and just general well-being, I feel good, can come over people. It's very, very common to get lightheaded and dizzy during that technique because there's a lot of recirculation going on in the brain. Also, you're inviting in a lot more oxygen through the body as well. So I do this technique many, many times a day. If I have a really big work schedule, something very particular is going on, if I have a bit of a stress going on in my environment, it's nothing for me to do Cortices 7 or 8 times a day, really, really safely. Now remember, Cortices is a smashing technique, it's a knockout, but it's never in replacement for a full body talk session or doing that full access techniques. If you know those, I would recommend doing those as well, or seeking medical treatment as well if you've got something really severe going on for yourself. And of course, if you ever have any questions, you can always track us down, send in an email to the office, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. Till we see you next time. Bye.